Okay, so final boss Taizoo and the boys are out, and I'm actually kind of surprised that this is as easy as it is with the characters that you have to use. Because initially I thought, reading over the patch notes, the characters take more damage from females. They take, female characters take less damage from them. So obviously you would want to try to do a traditional sort of like female only team or whatever. So I've tried a couple of different teams out. Obviously the one team that everybody seems to be using is this Matrona, Blue Deanne, Blue King, and Marmus in the back team. And I was like, well, I don't think I can really use that team because my Deanne is only level 60. She's fully awakened, but like she's UR 60. My Matrona is fully awakened, UR 60. My King is level 80 UR, so he's completely fine to use and everything for that. But he's the only character that's completely powered up. None of these characters are super awakened or anything like that. And then Marmus is kind of just in the back to sort of raise stats and stuff like that. But I was like, well, I don't think I'll be able to use that team because it's not powered up correctly. But honestly, like, you can use it regardless. Like, I tried using this team at first because it was a all females team. I did beat it with it, but it it didn't give me a good score at all. Like, I got maybe a little over 1,000 points. And then I was using the Pierce team a little bit. I actually ended up scoring a little over 2,000 points with this, which was not too bad. But I mean, you don't really need to use it. Plus, it's sometimes hit or miss. Like, I don't know, you can beat it with this team, but it's not like a guaranteed thing every single time or anything like that, because it relies on a lot of RNG to pull the Pierce cards and everything like that, of course. But honestly, this team just works. Like, after moving my gear around a little bit and messing with the characters like a tad, I'll go in and show you it's not it's not hard at all. I mean, the CC requirement for extreme is 140k, so I mean, obviously you're going to need some decent equipment on these characters with them being UR 60 to actually get their CC high enough. But honestly, like, it's not hard at all. So the big thing you want to worry about here is your missions. I don't think you can actually see the missions, but one of them is for Rupture, which means you need to use this skill at least 5 times. Obviously that is very RNG based. Another one is removing buffs, and every couple of turns or so Taizoo will actually throw down this thing on the ground and buff all of his teammates. As long as you can get a level 2 of aerial stem from Matrona, you can actually use this card to remove all of the buffs, and it'll actually get that challenge it'll get that mission knocked off the list for you. We can actually go ahead and merge that if we want. And then other than that, honestly, like, the rest of it just comes down to you beating the team. And honestly, all you really have to do is ult rush with Deanne here. Once you get her ultimate, and my ultimate on her is maybe 2.6, it's not very high at all, you can one-shot the second phase with just one ult by her. So through this phase, you kind of just want to go through and use as many cards as you can. King's ult will actually get rid of this team pretty easily in the first phase, so if you want to, you can try to get his ult going. That move right there does remove ult gauge a little bit, so you have to be kind of wary of that. But honestly, like, it's just a matter of kind of grinding for points in the first phase and then immediately killing the second phase, so it's not hard at all. So we can just go ahead and throw some of these cards around. We can merge this to try to get Deanne's ult a little bit quicker. We don't really have to, but we want to try to clear as much hand space as possible, so that way we can try to pull more of those Rupture cards to get that one, knocked off the list. But their ultimates really don't do all that much. I think the whole reason why King is on the team is because one of the missions is to use a fairy character, so that kind of works. Obviously, I guess you could use Elaine. I think Elaine was the one that they were wanting people to use because she's a fairy and she's a female for the fight. But King just has much better utility, and obviously the higher HP you end with, you get a little bit of extra points and stuff like that for that. So we'll go ahead and heal a little bit here, and then you can see they all have their buffs on, so we can use this level 2 aerial stem to remove buffs. And watch how many points we get just on the left hand side over here, right here. Yep, remove all of those. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Obviously the team itself just doesn't do a whole lot of damage. If they were completely powered up, I could see it doing a little bit better, but for the most part, really all it takes is you just fighting these enemies and knocking out the first phase here, and then going into the second phase with your ult ready, and you're good to go, honestly. So let's go ahead and hit Taizoo with that. Go ahead and throw some of this stuff around. Then we'll merge for ult right here. Obviously, the big thing is sometimes they can ult disable, which is kind of a problem, but as long as you have a, you know, level 1 king card to like remove the buffs and stuff like that, it's really not that big of an issue. So you just kind of have to be, I mean, obviously final boss is always very RNG dependent, so that is the one thing that you have to worry about, but you know, we can kind of work around some of it. So I kind of want to try to get these king cards out of the way a bit. We'll move this to try to help get his ult. I kind of want to try to finish this phase because we're getting close to round 7. I don't know why, but round 7 seems to be the one that they always want to sort of like shoot for as far as final boss goes. Like if you don't beat it before round 7, you pretty much lose out on a bunch of points. So if we can get lucky here with them not removing ultimate gauges, we could potentially go into the second phase right here. So we'll heal up a little bit. Rupture skill. Okay, I think that was the 5 times for rupture. I think you only need to use the skill technically twice because you have to rupture 5 enemies with it. And as long as... Okay, so he removed ult, which is a little unfortunate there. I think as long as you hit all 3 characters with the rupture skill twice, then you should be good as far as that like move goes. Alright, we're gonna merge that. We're gonna rupture one more time. We're going to hit him with this. We kind of need to heal up a little bit, but honestly, we're not getting too lucky with the Purify cards. We're already on turn 7, which is a little unfortunate. So this isn't going to be like a crazy run by any means, but I want to show you guys like what a regular run looks like, because you honestly can see that this, even with this team not being powered up, it works somehow, and I'm very surprised that it does. Just keep trying to whittle these down. Unfortunately, I don't have a Purify, so I can't use King's ult right there, which is really unfortunate. I think you really need to try to keep one in hand if possible. Okay, at least he hit Matronal with that. That worked out pretty good. Okay, that's not an issue. So now we can use this. We can merge these just for, you know, hand space issues. We can do this, and then that should send us into the second phase with a halfway decent hand. Hopefully we can get a heal, but you know, obviously the odds of getting 2 Purify cards are going to be kind of low. But the one thing that's funny about this is the fact that you use the Yan on the team going into this little like cutscene right here. Her ass is just in the way, and I think that's very funny. Okay, so now the boys got their costumes on. We did not get a Petrify or a Purify, which is a little unfortunate. But we can use these 2 cards. Normally those 2 cards give you pretty decent points because like you can see right here, they deal a pretty decent amount of damage, so they give you like the 40k, so the points and stuff like that are pretty good on a lot of the AoE moves. And then boom, you wipe out the team, easy peasy. I think that was like round either 8 or 9, so nothing too crazy. But you can see right there, we got 2,400 points, which I don't know if that beats my current one or not. What it was at 2,419. And then yeah, that beat my old score, and that put me in top 5%. Obviously it's day 1, so I'm not going to be able to keep that top 5% by any means, and I'm not going to work on like upgrading these heroes anymore throughout the week, because it's just not worth investing into them, to be honest, because they're very niche units, and just having them for this final boss really isn't worth it. But I mean, hey, even if I could do like a better run and get it done with a lot better RNG, I could potentially get that score higher and still end up keeping a pretty decent score, because obviously the big thing here is you want to do it enough to where you get a lot of these score rewards and stuff like that, but the big thing is that you want to make sure that you're in top 70%, because this is actually going to give you King's cosmetic outfits. And I mean, shit, I mean, I'm sure I'll probably end up staying within the top 30% just using, you know, that team. So I think we're good. Like, honestly, this is not a very hard final boss. I don't think you need to invest a whole lot into the characters, really. So, I mean, you know, I have mine at fully awakened UR60 on the DN and the Matrona, but that's pretty much as far as I'm going to go with it. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this helped a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video.